Good day, everybody. It's been a while since we did a match play update. I've got Neil Card with me. We're going to be doing. Neil was on vacation out in PEI, so we're back. There's been a lot of good matches, a lot of stuff going on. We have two good interviews for you today, which we're going to lead off with in a few minutes. But we just want to tell you we're doing a match play update, and as we go through the different categories, we'll make some comments about where we are in each of these matches. First, Neil, welcome back.
Well, thank you, sir. I was in PEI for a couple of weeks, had a wonderful rest, and just stuffed my face full of every kind of seafood that I could find. And I'm telling you, nothing beats seafood right out of the sea, as they say. So I had some great shrimp, some great mussels, some good times, but most importantly, I had a great rest because it's been a hectic summer.
Yeah, it has been. Listen, we're going to open up with a two-man.
Yep.
One of the biggest upsets because I don't think they've lost the game. I don't know how long. Vic Farr and Jeff Cortez finally got taken down.
Yep.
By Jeff Stanley and Brian Dawson, and I believe you've got a chance to talk to Stanley Dawson.
Mr. Dawson was away on business, but Jeff Stanley very kindly provided a nice interview. Vic Farr, I'm sorry, Vic, I gave you lots of chances to get on camera. Never worked out, so it'll have to be next year.
Yeah.
You and Mr. Shy Cordes. But anyway, Jeff describes the match, and let's have a listen now.
All right.
Well, this morning I am joined by Jeff Stanley. He and his partner, Brian Dawson, made the first major upset of two-man in 2024. Jeff and Brian took down not only last year's champion, but the last 2 years' champions, Jeff Cordes and Vic Farr. So, Jeff, tell us what happened.
Well, it was a great day. I mean, I start off just want to say that Jeff and Vic are two great guys to play with. I've known Jeff for a few years and Vic as well, and a great couple of guys. Everybody played well. Jeff Cordes was mentioning when we were sitting having a beer that everybody played below their handicap, so that was great. Everybody contributed. It was a great day. Front nine was, they went up one. We evened it up on the next hole. Then we went up one, and it kind of stayed that way until the fifth hole. Brian sunk a birdie on 5, and we went up 2. Vic sunk a birdie on, well, it wasn't a birdie putt, but the three of us didn't do that well on that hole. So a par kept it going for Vic to get them back to being down 1. So we were up 1, on the front 9.
Looking good.
Jeff had sunk a birdie putt on 9, and Vic and I both had a net birdie, so it all kind of even up on 9, and kind of stayed that way until about 13 when Jeff, I believe, a par did it on 13 to get them back to even.
Okay.
And then 14 was about the same, and then 15 was, I guess you could say, the turning point.
PSN turning point.
Yeah.
Jeff, I just want to jump in here for a second because on the front 9 on Wednesday, you had the extra challenge. You were playing ghost pins.
Exactly.
And I understand. I talked to Jeff Cordes after, and he was hinting at some kind of an appeal.
Yeah. He mentioned some kind of an appeal when we were having a beer, and I reminded him about how we all agreed on it before we took off. He wasn't sure about it.
He was just kidding, but he had me for a minute, I must say. John Cairn doesn't need this kind of grief, for God's sakes. Anyway, hilarious. No. Anyway, I'll let you continue there from the turning point on 15.
Yeah, the turning point on 15, I believe they had the honors. Jeff striped it down the middle. Vic found the trees on the right. Brian striped one down the middle a bit too far into the pond, and then the pressure was on me. And of course, I toned it down from my driver, which I usually slice around that corner. And the round before, I put my driver straight into the pond, so I decided to go 3-wood, but pulled that left into the trees. And Um, I was up next, I think, and I had to make a choice. Should I, punch out into the fairway and risk going through to the rough on the other side, and I was still going to be about 200 out, or I had a smaller window, about 5 feet between some trees to the left, down the left side of the fairway. It could go rough, could go fairway. And hold on 1 second. And then, so I decided to take the chance, and sure enough, I punched it out to about the 115 mark, and then stuck that one fairly close. Jeff had already found this. Everybody else had found the sand or been in trouble, so we ended up getting one on that hole. And
Yes, that has, your
much.
shot through the 5-foot opening has just memories of Phil Mickelson through, I think it was about a 5-inch opening at, I think it was the Masters. I'm not sure where, but somewhere. So good for you. Courage, courage.
I, I took a chance on the second hole trying to get over the trees. I was a little bit left and caught the branches, and then so on another hole I decided to play safe. But this one, it was coming down to the crunch, and I think
Yeah.
where Jeff was sitting, pretty much had to take a chance, and it paid off.
Excellent.
16, we Brian, found the green in 2. I had to punch on, but we ended up we parred that hole, and they had found sand, and Vic, I guess, must have got in trouble. I don't remember, but so we ended up going up 2 on 16, and then 17 was a kind of a fun pin placement on the whites,
Yes,
and
I
we ended
remember.
up. I think most of us just ended up with a bogey on that one with our strokes or net par. I can't remember, but it wasn't. They needed to win, and they didn't do it on 17, so that's where it came to an end.
It's over.
So it's over.
Yeah,
2-1, I guess you'd say.
you took down the Giants.
Yeah, it was good. Brian and I had one of those, like you call it, a ham and egg day, where
Yes.
when I played bad, he came through. So
Yes.
we need to do that, I guess, a couple more times.
Well, that's excellent. Jeff, thank you. For sure, Vic and Jeff, I just want to say to them, I've given you a couple of opportunities to come on this interview and brag about your success to this point. You denied me. So too bad. It'll have to be 2025 before we see your lovely faces on camera. Anyway, Jeff, thanks so much for the interview, and congratulations. Good luck on your next round.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Take care.
Wow. Okay. That was a big. That was like they haven't lost in a while, so that was a big win for these guys. Another good match and a major upset, in my opinion, was Darren McCready and Steve Meldrum taking on Jared Coyle and Glenn Coyle, defeating them. Like I said, what an intimidating prospect.
Well, the father and son powerhouse.
Yeah.
This is, and Jared in the mid-amateur a couple of weeks ago just did so well. I'm really pleased to see the posters of him up around the club. Well-deserved recognition of his efforts. But unfortunately, in this particular instance, Jared and Glenn were not as successful. And so Darren McCready is with us, and he's going to describe their match. I'm joined by Darren McCready. He and Steve Meldrum, his partner, took down one of the powerhouse pairs of Jared and Glenn Coyle in the second round of men's 2-man match play. So I'll turn it over to Darren right now, and he can describe the match.
Thanks, Neil. One of the reasons I was excited to do this interview is because Steve Meldrum and I, Melly, we call him, we've had zero success as partners ever in life. We tried at least 5 times to qualify for the Sun Scramble. We tried it stone sober, drunk. We tried it with beer, without beer. We failed miserably in basically every partner event. So I wanted
there you go.
record of a little bit of partial success, and it was a it was definitely a great match with the coils, and it was all my partner for sure. So we got through. I think the first 2 holes were no blood. Glenn and I had a couple of pars, and Jared had a lost ball on 2 that was a little bit unfortunate for him because he had a beautiful shot. But then on 3, I think we won 3 through 7 with Melly making natural birdies on 5 and 6, and he's he got on fire, and we were actually up, I believe, 5 at one point in the match, and Jared stuffed it close on 8 and moved it to a 4-up situation. And I thought that we would come a little bit unraveled. Then we were not ever super confident because Glenn and Jared are amazing golfers, and
no question.
we hadn't spent any time with them, and we knew, because it takes about 12 minutes to get through all the skins that they win on men's leg. So we knew of their prowess, and we were definitely intimidated. But they were great. They were super talkative and great to play against as well. So the match started to flip. Actually, on 10, Melly did another one of his magic tricks. He hit it wide right, like about 20 yards right, and then hit a flop shot to 6 inches for a 3 net 2. And that put us up again. I think we're up 4 at that point, and started to feel decent. And then Jared, I'll never forget this. Jared said, I do like this next stretch of holes. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So then the seesaw totally flipped, and they just went on a run. I think we maybe tied 13, but they won 14, 15, and 16. They just started to ragdoll us, and we were totally run out of the confidence. We're thinking, okay, how do we let this lead slip away? And they were just coming after us, and we walked off 16 after they beat us again, and we're 1 up through after 16th the 16th hole. So we were lacking confidence. They had huge momentum, and I'd rather have a root canal than hit that tee shot on 17. I hate that hole. It's I lose about 30% of my tee shots. So, and Melly blasted it down the left side, and I wasn't sure he was even in play. I just started immediately. I hit mine down towards the 8th tee, and it ended up being on the cart path down there. Of course, Jared and they're both down the middle for sure. And my ball is on the cart path. I have no idea what Melly's up to. It didn't look good off the tee for him. So I don't really know exactly where. I wanted to make sure I took a good drop off the cart path. So they came over, Jared and Glenn. They came over and showed me what my options were. I could drop. They gave me kind of a little bit of a lesson in how to take a drop, which I appreciated. And it ended up being not a good drop situation. So I played it off the cart path, shoved it down in front of the green. I thought, okay, well, maybe I can get that up and down, although the pin was on the front and kind of a nasty one. So I'm completely oblivious. We were up 1, and Melly's at the back left of the green. He hits a chip all the way down that long green, and is right on the front. And I chipped mine on about, I think I had like 6 or 8 feet left. I didn't hit a good chip, and I'm thinking I have to make this. I'm completely oblivious. I didn't even realize that Melly was in the back of the green in 2. He chipped it down to the front and made that for par. I looked up. I'm still in a full sweat, ready to try and make my par, and the boys have their hats off and the match is over. So it was a dramatic finish by my partner who carried the day, and it was a real treat to play with the Coils. They're amazing golfers, but they ran into my partner who had a really good day.
Well, it sounds like you know how to choose your partners, Darren. That's for sure. Because from the sound of it, you didn't do a lot in that. You were more window dressing.
I was a passenger. I think the only thing I really did on the first hole, Melly, if you watch him hit a ball, you'd swear, you'd say that guy could be like a 2 when he hits his best shot. But he gets a little crooked, and I think he just got on a run where he was hitting it exactly where he was looking like, and we were fortunate on the 6th hole. I've seen him hit it left there more times than not, and he hit this beautiful high draw that kicked off the bunker on the right and went right to like 2 feet. He kicked it in for a birdie. Yeah. So he had it going, and he's got lots of game. And I was really happy to see him have success. And our wives kind of beat the crap out of us, saying how brutal we were for trying to, because we tried really hard to qualify for that Sun Scramble and had no luck. So now we
Hey.
have video evidence that that we actually had a good day out there.
Well, Darren, that's excellent. That's excellent. I don't know that your opposition is yet determined for the next round, but you're getting close to the end. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to wish you and Steve a lot of luck. Steve, it's too bad you couldn't have been with us here because I'm sure Darren made his contributions too, but it's always more fun to trash talk the person on the screen. Anyway, Darren,
It was a
thanks for
great day with the coils. They were amazing to play with. They were giving it to each other a little bit, and Jarrett was beating up the dad pretty good, and he was giving it back. So it was a fun day, and I'm glad we pulled out of it. I don't think Vegas had us any chance of winning that match. That's for sure. So.
Well, that's cool. That's grand, Darren. Thank you very much for taking the time for the interview, and good luck in the next round, and perhaps I'll see you again.
All right. Thanks, Neil. Take care.
Wow, that's great. And I mean, super, what a two-man competition.
Yep.
There's a lot of money at stake for the two-man. The purses have been published on the Match Play website, so you can see how much it is for first place, second place, type thing. But I got to tell you, we're way behind here. We only have one semifinal winner right now, and that's Calder Baptiste, who defeated Daniel Stevenson. The other ones have to be played. So guys, Butler, let's just go over the ones. Arsenal versus Ziegel versus Diedrich and McEwen. That has to get done, guys. Butler and Robert against Sapella Avon. That has to get done. Stanley and Dawson versus Meldon McCready, the two guys we just interviewed. That has to get done. And we do have the Calder Baptiste. And then right away, you got to book your final matches because the semis take place and then it's got to be the final. So we're way behind. It's September 11th. We got to get those matches in. Okay, let's move on to the Open Division. Once again, we're a little bit behind here, but we've had some good matches. I guess the biggest match, it's not not an upset, but certainly what a terrific match it must have been.
Yeah.
Jared Coyle versus Josh Marcotte.
Yeah, I wish I had been here to see that because that would have been an epic match. And as you know there, John, looking at the grid, Mr. Coyle came out on top of this year's men's champion.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that was a fabulous match, and with any luck, I may get an opportunity to interview Jared about that, and so we can get a little further detail on the details of that match. The details of the details. There you go.
In another great match, David Denis, number 4 seed versus Ron Draycott. David has been playing great golf. Ron Draycott, number 5 seed, took him down. So there's another kind of a small upset, but it certainly is Ron Draycott versus Jared Coyle in the next round. That's also going to be a good match.
Yep. For sure.
The 1 versus 5 seed.
For sure.
The other side's a little slow getting their results in. We still have Jason Inman versus Elliot Riddell. I don't know if that match has been played. They haven't got it. The number 10 seed versus the number 18 seed. Imagine Elliot Riddell being the number 10 seed as our last year's club champion.
Yeah.
That's how good this field is.
No kidding.
And Aidan Coyle and Andrew Chenette, another great match. And if Coyle wins that, it could be a final match against his brother.
Wouldn't that be? Oh, that'd be fabulous.
I think they played against each other last year.
Yeah,
and
I
came
think
out
you're
on
right.
top. So,
I think you're right.
It certainly is looking like that could happen. But guys, you're behind. Get those matches in.
Yeah.
By
the way, John, if they don't complete the matches, that means the money goes to the organizers?
That's right, yeah.
Is that
yeah,
it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just get the two-man stuff. You get all the 4 other categories.
In the A match play, we certainly have had some, we now have the 2 finalists. Matt Walsh defeated Will Loudon last Saturday. Now, if you remember last Saturday, it was soaking, pouring.
Yep.
And, Will, Matt beat me in that. I said, how did you guys get the round in?
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
I was driving through the rain in New Brunswick, and it was the kind of rain where people had their flashers on, and that was for like 2 hours of driving through that stuff. And I've heard that it was equally wet here, so
it
good
was-
for them for doing
It was
it.
soaking. It was soaking. They actually canceled the Quinn Hoffman. It was just bad
Yeah.
last week and cold. Matt Walsh is in the final, and he was the #1 seed in the A, by the way. Joe Laird versus Kevin Gagnon. Kevin Gagnon advanced. He's the #3 seed, so it's Gagnon versus Walsh in the final, and
Wow.
they're on schedule. So very good for you guys. You
Good.
got till September 27th to get that match in.
Great.
Hopefully we'll have an interview with the winner, and just let me know or Neil know, and we'll get, well, let me know for sure, and then I'll let Neil know to interview the winner on that. In the B final, again, we're a little, well, we're kind of on schedule here. So in the semifinal, we have Sam Watts versus Chris Hilliard. The Sam Watts was the 8th seed, Chris Hilliard the 20th seed. So good for them. And we have Keith Ritchie versus Phil Byrne.
Yep.
So Phil
Club
and
captain.
Keith going to go at it. Phil, good luck getting hold of Keith. I can't get a hold of him, but hopefully you can. And that match is also going to be played. So that's the semis. They're on schedule. So good for them. And we'll certainly try and get you an update on that. Hopefully they'll get that match played this week.
Okay.
Okay, the C final. We have a finalist, Matt Delorier.
Okay, Matt Delorier.
Matt Delorier.
I'm unfamiliar with Matt, so I'm sorry, I cannot really call. What seed was Matt?
He's #1 seed.
#1 seed, okay, well,
He defeated Stuart McMahon to get to the final.
okay.
And we have Gustavo Zatino versus
Okay.
Adam Lee. And Adam I've played with. I have not played with the opportunity to play with Gustavo, #2 seed.
I think
but,
I
2
have.
versus 3 should be a good match.
Yeah,
I played with
yeah,
Adam.
yeah.
He's a very good
Yeah,
golfer.
and I'm pretty sure once this year I played with Gustavo in a very pleasant round, as I recall. So that should be a good match, and I look forward to seeing who comes out victorious.
Once again, guys, let us know who won that match, and then we'll try and get you on an interview.
Sure.
We'd love to see who does that versus Matt Delorier. Going to be a good final there. So you guys are a little bit behind. I guess Gustavo Zatino versus Adam Lee. That match should have been played already. So please get that that result
Yeah.
into us.
Yeah.
Neil, a very exciting match play this year. We're
Yeah.
getting down to the finals.
Yeah.
We'll try and come back with you next week with more. In the meantime, we'll put this up on the website, and also in my email update to you, you'll get a copy of this video. And hey, listen, I'm looking forward to it.
As we get closer and closer to the end, it gets more and more exciting, more and more interesting. You know, the possible coils playing each other in
Oh,
the
yeah.
final.
I'd give
Yeah.
money to see that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, John, it's been good so far, and it's going to get even better between now and the end.
And it's exciting to know we're going to have a new 2-man champion.
Yeah.
The last year's champions have been knocked out. So
Yeah, well, Farr and Curtis, you know, they're a little
they win.
they're a little weak at times, and you know they won't come on camera, so.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Vic because
Yeah, exactly.
Vic usually is a great interview, great guy to talk to.
Victor's
and,
so shy, you know, that it's really hard. I can't believe I couldn't sort of tease him out of his shell.
gosh.
But anyway,
Neil, thank you very much for
take
coming
care,
in
bud.
this morning.
Yep,
All right. Until next time, guys, play well.
play well.